Do I have to repeat all that for those that aren't here? For those that aren't here, I'm not going to repeat all that. I forgot to hit record. Sorry. Okay. Speaking of record, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna shame us. All right, is it okay? I'm gonna shame the class right now. Okay, I'm gonna shame us all. I'm going to take a look at the number of times the last video was played. I believe it was 8 last time. Let's see where we're at now. We're all at, let's see here, which one? Update, Web3 update. All right, 19 views. Thank you. All right, so less shame. There's 19 views. There were only 8 before. So my understanding that if you watched it and we're good to go. So basically your UX portfolio, you're kind of on your own. You're working on this. It's all been laid out for you. Now it's just production. Now it's just design and production and delivery. Okay. And part of design and production delivery is getting a job. So let's go ahead and I'm going to share this screen real fast. I always like sharing the cool stuff I come across. I still need to send out, excuse me, I still need to send out the IDEO, what's it called? The IDEO bike. When they redesign the shopping cart, excuse me, when they redesign the shopping cart, they also redesigned the bike. That's a different class. All right. Here is a company called Bothers in the Netherlands or somewhere in Belgium, maybe one of the two countries. Anyway, they also make the Figma plugin, and we looked at the Figma plugin for Airtable. We're going to look at that today. And then I was just poking around on their website. I'm like, oh, hey, this is really, really cool. So one, they have a full explanation of their process, but this is their portfolio. And look at this button here, see it live. That's that link button on your portfolio, link to the prototype from the PDF, link to a place where I can download the app, link to a video that shows someone using this thing that I designed. And this isn't, what I'm trying to show is not a call-in thing, right here. Yeah, this idea of seeing it live. Down here is our process. Now notice these images, they're theirs. The images that they took their own. And in this time that you have left is your chance to take those screenshots and to take those images. Okay. Here is that same thing, challenge, solution, right? A nice explanation, right? Vetted words and the impact, the results, right? After we did all this work, what was the result of it? Okay, and one of the results could be this was a class project. What was the result of that? I learned how to use a design system, right? I have a better understanding of the pros and cons of Figma. Okay. Good here, right? So by looking at all these different, and what's really nice is someday you're going to be able to get actual testimonials, right, for the stuff that you designed, and it's great. After we do well, not this class, but normally in a UX3 class when we test the games and the toys, we do like little testimonials from the kids, and the kids will say stuff like, this is the best game I've ever played, anonymous first grader, and it's really, really nice. Okay, and so take a look at other people's portfolios. Okay, while we're there, I happen to stumble upon their jobs, and I want to show this real fast. This job posting and the IDEO job posting I showed in last class, notice what they're not showing. There's not a laundry list of, do you know these tools? It's not that. And I need us to show, like, this isn't a Colin thing. Like I kind of wear it proudly that I'm kind of stumbling through Figma. And I think that's great that y'all can help me out in class, right? As I'm being recorded, stumbling through Figma. Because these tools are going to change, right? When I talk about being a designer, the last thing I brag about is the tools I know how to use, because that's not what the job entails, right? The job is talking about story. The job is talking about your ideals, right? In this case here, okay, that's when we hit apply now. Like, what are your passions? What are your principles, right? That's really what these jobs are about. And they all talk about design systems, right? Systems is what we're learning here. So, right, so between the great IDEO, right, and this company that we're going to be using their plugin today, you should see some patterns here, right? They're talking not so much about what we think design is, right? So I'm hoping that you can take a look at some job postings and get a better idea of what design is, and it's not a Colin thing. I also apply to these jobs, And lastly, right, today we're going to be looking at more tools, right? A plugin to help us with live data. And what you're looking right here is, why am I telling you about this? Because it just came out of beta, right? I got to test it out. I got the early beta, and now it's like in a public beta. So if you go framer.com/web, you get to try it out. There's this application that I've been talking to you about for a very long time now. Now you have access to it. Go for it. Like, try it out, right? And one of the big things about Framer, right, is this idea right here of using real data. Okay. Your design team is going to say, oh yeah, we're going to get you that information. We're going to get you that data. And what you don't want to say is, no, that's fine. I'll just put lorem ipsum in. Right? That's fine. I'm going to put lorem ipsum in is not a solution. Right? So again, using real data is a feature. It's not something like we're just doing for class. It's a core requirement of designing. Okay? Lorem ipsum can only get you so far. Okay, so I'm going to close that up. And speaking of real data, let's get into it. All right, what are we seeing right now? Is it my face? Screen sharing has stopped. I'll share it. Okay, let's do this. Share. All right, good job. 19 views. I have more than 19 students, so that means myself and somebody else viewed it more than once. So if you still have questions about your UX portfolio, you can bring those to office hours and we can get those addressed. Okay. All right, I'm gonna close that up. There's material design. All right, let's get started. All right, we're continuing to build on from the Figma course on here. Okay, we started this thing. We're just gonna keep building on. This is essentially your textbook for this concept of a design system. All right, I think they should have renamed this course How to Use Figma. Right, really, it's kind of what it is, but it has some design system ideas in there. Okay, well, let's get into this. First off, I'm gonna put this into the chat and let's take a look at the actual data itself. So as you learned in Web3, if some of you are taking Web3, data comes from everywhere. Go back to screen sharing here. That data can be a JSON file. Data can come from a CMS. Data can come from an Excel spreadsheet. And data can come from Airtable. I highly recommend that you sign up for Airtable. Airtable is great. Airtable is what we've used prior to Dado CMS in UX and in Web3. Airtable is what we use. Danielle, did you take, I know you just popped in. You're like, what is Colin talking about? You use Airtable, right? In your Web3 class.
We went over it very briefly. I haven't really looked at it since then, though.
You guys got the, all right. We use something else. Ours is a lot of JSON. Yeah, a lot of JSON. Okay. All right, so inside of the chat, everyone's looking at the same Airtable table. I know, Airtable table. Airtable has from your student account, like you can set up, thanks, Chance. This is Chance is the only one that responded. Everyone sees that Airtable table. You get a free 2-year plan to try it out. I highly recommend it. Try these tools out and take advantage of being a student while you can. Like your student account gets you a lot of free and discounted services. All right, so this is essentially a glorified spreadsheet, and like Notion, what we can do is we can have different fields, and also these fields allow us to have a GUI way to do stuff like download and upload, and it gives us multiple types of field. As you learned in what's it called? In Web3, you learn in Web3, there are different types of fields. So here, I started one for Silverback for today's class. And what we can do is we can click this plus button here and we get all these different types of field, right? We can get a collaborator, a date, phone, email. And now normally, this is all done and set up for you, but sometimes as a designer, you might have to take this raw data, right? And the other nice thing is this GUI interface, pro tip, like let your content editors, let your customers, let your clients, give them this interface to input real data, and you'll have all this real data. So use these tools because they're there. right? If I didn't want to show this to you. Otherwise, what ends up happening, right, is you get a whole mess of people. Like, let's take a phone number. Like, come on, designers, how many times are we going to, whoops, not number, phone number, right? How many times are we going to complain? Maybe it's just me, right, about phone number formats. I bet you if I ask you all right now, like, go in the chat with the zip code, type your preferred way you'd like to see a phone number inside the chat. Go ahead and do that. I'm going to show you why I'm talking about this in just a second. Go ahead and do that for a second.
You mean just the area code and phone number?
Area code and a 10-digit number, right? Area code plus the 7. Is it 10? I think it's 10. Yeah. When's the last time you typed a phone number? Okay. All right. So we got a bunch of like-minded people, right? And already, I haven't even looked at the chat yet. When I pop it up, like they're all different. Look, Alyssa wants dots, right? And Chance, I'm like Chance and Rhiannon, right? Danielle, hyphens? Oh goodness. Teresa, no space on that. Do you get what I'm saying? That so, Colin, why are you making a big deal about this? Because between Google Sheets, Airtable, Notion, you can have these tools that we use, like reformat this data that is entered. They can do that hygiening for you. Okay. If you're in Figma and you're copying and pasting, you're manually doing that, that's fine. I'm not going to stop you. Right. Or you can let the tools take care of all that. Right. Like Framer. All right. Good. All right. We can have a big design nerd fight about the best way to format a number some other time. I don't. Good. Can we move on? All right. So there's that. There's the data hygiene and there's real data. All right. So now let's get into this video. Okay, let's play this video real fast. Okay, here's how you use this plugin. I have to stop sharing. So now I have to reshare. I'm clicking.
In this video, I'll show you how the Airtable to Figma plugin works. To start, I've created a frame with a picture and some descriptive elements that are part of my Airtable that I would like to load in Figma. Before this plugin, I'd have to copy all of the frames individually and load all of my elements individually. But right now, I can just select a frame and then select the plugin, which is right here. Then I'll switch to my Airtable and I'll create a shareable grid view link, which I'll copy and paste in Figma. I'll press the button Load Airtable Data, and then I can match my Airtable fields to the text nodes I created in Figma. I'll press Next, and then I can play around with the spacing and with the alignment or the grid. I want to have rows and columns with some more spacing. I'll make it 70. And then once I'm happy with my alignment, I click Done. And I have very easily imported my Airtable information into Figma with one simple plugin.
So this is a core feature of Sketch long before this, and live data has come to Figma relatively late, but that's here nor there. Wait, did you all see that video? Okay, good. We all saw it. I don't know. It's weird. A lot of glitches today. All right, so we're done with that. Let's go ahead and let's get into Figma. Yeah. All right, let's get into Figma. Let's go ahead and make sure that we have this plugin installed. Go to plugins. browse plugins, and you're going to search for, you can search for table. It's probably the quickest way to get there. Oh, just not, there's too many. Search for Airtable. Airtable to Figma. There's another one, but we want this one by Bothers. I'm assuming that's how they pronounce their name, and I already have installed. You can click on install. So get that plugin installed. But whatever tool your company decides to use, right? Your company might say, like, we're just going to code this all out in HTML and CSS. But cool, right? There's pros and cons of those techniques. All right, so once we get this plugin installed, let's go ahead and show the limitations of an online class. All right, let's go into our files here. Okay. And let's make a dummy project. Let's go ahead and make a dummy project. Make a dummy frame. Okay. No, I'm happy to make a dummy project, a dummy frame, because you should test out all the plugins, right? I went through them all, and these were the only two. I wish there were more. Sketch and I believe Adobe XD and Framer for sure. Definitely like pull and data without, they're just natively part of how the app, it's a feature on the app. You just go to File, Data, and select your data source. It's really, really cool. But Figma is the new hotness, and it's the one we're going to be using. All right, so we're going to come into here and let's go make some fields here. I'm going to zoom in. Let's make these fields big so y'all can see them. All right, so what were the fields here? Breed, that is really big. Really big. I guess I can zoom in. All right, can you all see that? Okay, and you can name these things whatever you want, because you can content map Web3 people. You can content map all of that. All right, that's breed. Okay, then we're going to content map our data. We got breed, description, country. Right. Now, some of you are thinking, like, we're just going to redo what we did in the video. Yes, I just want to make sure that we can do this. Even I'm like, is origin. Oh, we need to get to that. That's our table. Too many tabs. Origin. Skip origin. Just go to image. All right. I'm gonna skip origin because that's kind of tedious. All right. Make a rectangle. All right. Thanks to whoever was helping me out last class. Randy, was that you?
It was Ethan.
Ethan, thank you. Come in here, Ethan. I'm gonna do this again. I'm gonna mess this all up again. There it is. Look, oh, Ethan, look at me go. Yeah, air class. Look at me use Figma, everybody. Woo. All right. All right, and then you can probably group this together if you wanted to. All right, we're just gonna make them be individual frames because that'll work too. All right, those are just your placeholders. Okay, let's say you're making an app, like a profile card of all these different cat breeds. Okay, now you have that. This part is super easy. Okay, and again, these can be components, but we're just trying to get the data in. So we're gonna go into here. All right, plugins. Oh, where's my plugins? That's what we want. Oh, you gotta select the frame. I forgot that was one of the quirks. I select the frame, go to plugins. Do y'all see your plugins? Why don't I see my plugins? I just did this. Ethan, help me.
I think you can right click on the frame.
Yeah, or you go to the hamburger menu.
Mm-hmm.
And then there should be a plugin option.
But mine says, where did it go? Do y'all have it?
Yeah.
Okay, then you go ahead and run it. Maybe if I save it. You know, maybe Figma is tired of me talking about his competitors. Let's see here. Go back to files, Airtable test, talking out loud. All right, was that a frustrated slap there? I heard a noise from somebody. So Shweta, you said I can highlight the frame and then
Yeah, you should be able to right click.
I don't know where all my plugins are. Plugins installed. We were gonna get out early today. Let's see if any of the other ones. All right, how do I exit Figma? Mine isn't working either, not me. Is there a limit to how many plugins you can install in Figma? All right, let me do this. What was that?
Probably not. I have a crap ton of plugins.
There they are. Now it's back. If you close the tab, y'all, maybe it has to like reset. So if you close or exit the browser, come back into it, it'll get set up again. All right. So thanks for the help. All right. Select your artboard, frame. Oh. Frame. All right. And come into here, go to plugins, Airtable from Figma. These are all the other ones I've tried. Some of the other ones aren't worth trying. These are the 4. They're somewhat decent. The other ones just avoid. Yes, I said it. All right, Airtable to Figma, and then we want to grab the share link, and the share link is provided in the chat. And I'll put it back into the chat so you can see it. Go ahead and copy that from the chat or from the tab that you have open and paste that right into there. Go ahead and hit load Airtable data once you have that link. All right, and then so this is where you're going to content map. Okay. This is where Web3 comes in really, really handy. So the breed goes to breed, but you can rename these all yourself. One of my I don't like how it auto populates the number of entries. So be careful about that. About this one is if you have something in the table, right? Because what it's doing, it's grabbing all of the data, all of the rows in the table, and sometimes you don't want it all, but that's just the way this one works. So, and then we're going to go ahead and get country and then select image as image. All right, is everybody clear on what I'm doing here? I'm just mapping all of the layers. Can I say layers? Yeah, layers to each of the columns inside of Airtable. And then you can go next. And if you want to change the order and direction, you could there. If you want to change the spacing, but go ahead. And you can also go back and change the field mapping. I do like that feature about this though, because let's say you mess this up, right? Which I did intentionally. So breed and breed, description. Notice what I did here in country, right? I didn't put the country. And so then it's just going to rerun the plugin, hit next, hit done, and voila. You've just pulled in real data, slow clap, right? So between this and Google Sheets, right, it's a way to pull in live data, and hopefully the 10 minutes of class where I talked about this, you'll see how beneficial this is. Check. With me? Okay. All right, so let's see how we can actually apply this to Silverback. Okay, the next video I'm gonna show is the previous design system manager that we used. Okay, and so I'm showing this in the hopes that you can see that this isn't a Figma thing, this isn't a UX3 thing. This is the last tool that we use. Okay, and why did we use InVision? Because it was one, it's a really good tool. 2, they gave us a nice educational discount of free, and so we used it. It's still very, very good. They're the ones that made InVision Studio, right? Here's the other one that is used heavily by a lot of people. Here's another Figma and Sketch competitor. So show of hands that you've seen this or have used it before. Really?
I tried it last year.
Yeah. Danielle, it was still a little bit buggy. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. There's different things that you can do with the InVision prototyping software in the web that you can't do in the studio, which was really annoying.
Yeah.
Because I had everything all designed in studio and was starting to prototype, and then it was like you couldn't have a fixed nav at the top. It wouldn't let you do that, I think is what it was. So that was annoying.
Yeah.
But that was a year ago. So
yeah. Good and bad. It integrates into all of the other InVision products that are really good, like the boards. So yeah, all these trade-offs. I'm just, by UX3, you should be aware of all these because they're going to show up in job postings, and I don't want you to go, what the heck is that? So be aware. Marvell. We talked about Framer at the beginning of class. All right, design systems.
As design grows within a company.
Right. Can you hear the audio? Okay, great. I'm gonna turn this way up. So
it becomes more and more difficult to balance creativity and consistency across every project, product, and screen. The most forward-looking design teams in the world have turned to using design systems to scale design, ship products faster, and keep innovating. That's why we created InVision Design System Manager. InVision DSM gives you one central place to maintain all of your brand and UX components across design and code, creating a shared visual language across your company and providing the speed and confidence to power design at scale. Designers can access libraries directly within Sketch, and soon InVision Studio, to push and pull changes to colors, text and layer styles, and even deeply nested components. And to create a whole new level of clarity, you can easily document within every section and component to provide context and guidance for your entire team, eliminating ambiguity when it's time to start implementing. As your library evolves, advanced versioning allows you to iterate with total confidence. Designers can switch to the latest version or roll back at any time. To make sure your design guidelines are carried over into production, we've created a much richer experience for developers. To start, we've integrated with Storybook to seamlessly bring coded components right alongside their design counterparts inside DSM. No more rewriting existing code or building without the right level of guidance from design. Developers can also use automatically generated design tokens, which allow you to use the colors and styles defined within DSM directly within your code, and in the languages you're actually building in, like CSS, SAS, JSON, and Swift. We've also introduced an even more powerful inspect experience for developers by bringing real, usable, production-ready code sourced from your existing code repositories. This creates a shared understanding across design and development, saving time and improving the quality and consistency of product design. And every step of the way, DSM is automatically generating a customizable web portal where you can browse everything in one place. Plus, with enterprise-ready features like granular roles and permissions and password-protected links, you have complete control over your company's most strategic assets. Get started today with InVision DSM, powering creativity and consistency at scale.
We're not going to make something that complex, but we're also not going to make something that is just a static mock-up either. And what I want to show is why.
And development, saving.
Mute this, right? I get a lot of, I wish it was only just design. I wish it was just this. Or I get a lot of, I just want to do code and I don't want to think about design. This world, right, this profession, design, kind of mandates that you have an understanding of both, right? At least you should have an understanding of what the other side needs, right? And where where design and development start and stop, and that's really important. That'll make you a better developer and it'll make you a better designer. And so I get a lot of, we need to split up these classes. They shouldn't be so coupled. And my brain always goes, how? I take a look at this screen right here. I was like, well, look at like if you're right now, UX3 is Web3 is learning React. And I was like, well, what about Vue and Angular? Well, same thing, it's similar things, right? And the same thing with design is right. We don't want to say, we want to be able to use any of these tools to get any of the stuff done. And so keep understanding the big concepts, right? Be kind of proud that you can forget how a tool works. Okay. You can be able to pick up anyone. All right, so I'm gonna close up that tab, or I'm gonna keep talking. All right, so now what we're gonna do is start applying Silverback, right, to this idea of not having to replicate stuff. So I'm inside of Silverback here, okay? And I want to use this plugin, Silverback here, right? And student info, performance, educational support, right? We're gonna have a master design system. And this is where we're gonna start with this. Okay, like if you're copying and paste this stuff in, cool, right? But already, are these images? No, they can't be images. Let me see here. Why can't I select that? Oh, there it is, right? All right, so here's all that text. So one way to do this is to copy this in and go into Airtable, right? Into our design system and paste it all like this, right? And then yes, of course you can make this into a component and copy and paste, and that works. Okay, and if your thought is, Colin, gosh, stop being such a pill or a turd or whatever the terms. Rhiannon, help me out. What else am I being? Right. She's thinking about it. Okay. There's only like 6 of these. And what we need to think about is, what if there are 60? What if there are 600? All right. But wait, don't I say the same thing in Web3? Exactly. Okay, that's how exactly, right? Yes, Randy, you're right. Stop being a hot pocket. What is that? I'm gonna look that up after class. Hot pocket? Stop being a hot pocket. Can I say that around my children? Hot pocket. Okay, let's do this. Okay. So as I said, we have a frame here. This is going to be our dashboard, and I'll set you up with what I want you to do next for the Silverback at the end of this. Okay, so then we're going to go into Airtable, and all right, we're done with this Airtable. We're going to come into here, and I'm just going to give these things a unique ID. Right, we have how many of these? All right, again, we're pretending there's more than 6. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, right. And these are our navigation. All right, I'm just gonna, we can call them nav headings to make this short, nav headings. And look at me. I picked the wrong type of field here. It's a nav heading. What kind of field should it be for just a navigation heading? Email.
Link to another record.
A link to another record, maybe, right? But we don't have any. This is our first and only record. Evan, that could be attachment. Colin, why are you being such a hot pocket about this?
Single line text.
Single line text. This is why all these classes come together. Okay. All right. Single line text. And if you use what's it called? All right. Pro tip. This is why this is one of the few things that differentiates Firefox from the rest. Is Firefox is really good at table selection. Do this inside of, see me select those cells? Oh yeah. Do this with your other browsers. You can't. Firefox does the best table selection. Ooh, look at them, select that tables. Right, I can get rows and columns. What? Yeah, let's see your browser do rows and columns. All right, go Firefox. All right, and then we come in here and select all of this right like so. Unfortunately, this is not a row or a column. They're just divs. But okay. All right, and assignments. I'm going to copy all that out. Do you want to expand this table? Absolutely, expand that table. All right, student info, we don't need that. Is it? Did I mess up my accounting? Student info performance, what is it? Too many tabs. Student info to assignments. Student info to assignments, great. All right, there's our 7. Did I count that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Look at this, your instructor can't count to 7. He said 6. There's 7 there. All right, all right, so now that we got that, we're gonna go into Airtable. Let's say this is our dashboard frame. Okay, and we got our nav. This is gonna be nav 1. We can make this thing smaller. Okay. I guess I can make the frame bigger. All right, we wanna drop in the nav inside of there. Go into here, run Airtable from Figma. Whoops, not Airtable from Figma. What is it? Oh, what didn't I do? Can you all see this table yet? Okay. Again, real quick, this is like to add attachments. You get this nice drag and drop. Like you can just drop in any file, but you can't see it because it's a pop-up. So, Airtable done froze my browser. All right, so I'm going to remove this field there. I'm going to remove this field here. All right, so from the video, what do we need to do to make Airtable go? We need to make it shareable. So we're going to create a shareable grid link view like so. Make this thing completely private. Allow viewers to copy this data. Show all fields and records. Restrict access. Embed. Sure. We're going to preview this. And then pop this thing open in a private tab, hidden tab. Make sure that you can see this. Okay. Good. You're going to have information architects. This is a lot of information architects do this. All right, everyone go to the chat. Make sure that you can see the same table that I'm viewing. Once you have that, go and plug it into Airtable, and it should work for you. Plugins, Airtable from Figma. Select a component or frame. I need to make a component. So we're making components now because this is going to be our navigation. There's our component. All right, I've selected the component. Airtable from Figma. Paste in the link. Load an Airtable data. Okay, we're going to select the field. We don't want the ID. For Airtable, you need to have a unique ID. So a good way to do it is just put in a unique ID like 1. You can also have Airtable automatically count it. We want nav heading, click next. And we want the direction to go to this way, horizontally. Oh, there, like that. Default spacing. 2. Let's see here. 40 is too big. There. If my text wasn't so big, this wouldn't be an issue. But all right, now the client says, okay, so there is our navigation. Check with me. Okay. So you come in here and the client says, you know, we decided that we need to change the names of this for whatever reason, right? For readability, right? For understanding. Okay. All right, for legal reasons, like this has to change. Well, now we can just come into here and, right, so let's say we're going to change performance. Performance to, I need another word for than performance. Is that bouncing?
Progress.
Progress. Right. Great. Thank you, Evan. Right. Hit progress, hit save on this. Okay. Isn't it fun to watch someone click around on the screen? Okay. Oh, if you haven't noticed, I was a very cranky student. I was like, what? Very critical. All right, select all those components, go to plugin, Airtable from Figma, nav heading again. Hit done. All right. And should run it all again. Let's see here. I can't see performance. ID. There's ID. There's nav heading. Oh, this is Airtable being slow. So, but once Airtable updates, you should be good to go on that. Let me check this in the private tab. Yeah, give it a second and then run it again. You should be good to go. All right, it is 2:13. I promise that we get done early. We still have one more thing we need to do. All right, the first place we're going to start is something easy, right? We need to get us started with Silverback. Okay, we took care of color. Okay, we know where we're going to pick color from. We took care of the typeface, Roboto. I'm going to hopefully make this easier on us by limiting the icons that we can use. What I want you to do is take a look at Silverback, right? And we've already addressed something like the print icon over here and the save and edit. There's all these verbs, right? All these actions and tasks that the users need to do. What I want you to figure out, and under material design, where did it go? Oh, right here. Under material design, there's a whole mess of icons there, right? And they're grouped by sharp, two-tone, rounded, outlined, okay, and filled. And these are all icons that are already part of the material design icon set. And so instead of having you go to Icon Monster or make your own, I'm mandating, okay, I'm mandating that you use these icons, and hopefully by mandating this, this will help with some of the decision making on it. Okay, so start small, right? We have our color, right? We have our typeface, right? And now what I want you to do is establish the icons. All right, we good on this? Okay. To get these icons, you can go to any one of these three resources, right? And the first one they said is go to the Git repository. And this is why we learn version control. I'll pop you to here, okay? Material design icons. And all you need to do is go into each one of the folders. So let's say you wanted an action, one that's grouped by action. You go to the 1X web. And see here, you can grab this first one here, and there's that icon right there. You probably don't want the 1X. Get the 2X or better. Yeah, let's take the 2X. Same thing here, right? And all those icons are made for you. All right, good on the icons.
Where are you finding this link for the icons?
Material design, right there. Git repository. They're both. Any of these three links, we'll take you there. Where it says Git repository. Here. Okay. So hopefully by using a design system like material design, right, we can begin to better understand what a design system is. Good? All right. Once we have those three things, where we're headed to next with Silverback, okay, is I want us to start taking care of this initial header right there. So this is two parts, and oh, you can't see my sketches. All right. If you want to start looking ahead, right, there's the dashboard here. We need to start addressing this dashboard, what I have highlighted right there. That's the dashboard. And then next after that, we need to address the navigation. Both of these use icons, okay, which are right here. So like I said, for the time being, just forget everything but below here. Like, how are we going to address this right here? Okay, because the noun here is the student info, right? The verb is how we move around different student info, all right? The verb is how we move around the different students. Okay, good? Okay, so I just wanted to tease this for next week. For right now, be able to use your design systems. Check. All right, have a good day.
Thank you, you too.
You too. Go, don't be a hot pocket. Danielle, did I saw your changes and your revisions that you made to your portfolio?